the internet can see us.
Yeah, so just a record, so hoping for the best. So welcome to Night Hacking from Devox. Here with me is today Pierre Laporte.
Hello everyone.
He's working for DataStax, a company building a commercial offering on top of Apache Cassandra, and just yesterday a new version of Apache Cassandra was released. I think it's 3.0.
Yes, absolutely, 3.0. That's a big improvement for us.
So can you tell me a bit about Cassandra in general?
Cassandra itself, yes. So Cassandra is a NoSQL database, an open source NoSQL database that is hosted by the Apache Foundation project, and it has a no master architecture. So from that architecture, there are two very interesting qualities. The first one is that since no node is privileged from any other one, it means any node can go down. It doesn't involve downtime at the database level. So you can have failing nodes, you will still manage to get 100% uptime.
Ah, that's great. I heard you tell me about a demo about crashing and burning nodes, like on the keynote of the Cassandra Summit?
Of the Cassandra Summit, yes. So we had that demo where we would have 2 data centers, 6 nodes in each data centers, and we would randomly crash nodes. Those nodes were on Raspberry Pis. We would spill coffee, burn them, destroy them using an axe, and yet the application was still on. It was still working, although those horrible things would happen in the data centers.
Oh, so typically you don't get with access to data centers.
No, you should not try to do that. But the idea is, when you think about it, highly available. What does it mean? It means rarely unavailable, but still, it can be unavailable.
Yes.
We don't want that. That is bad. We want always on, and we shoot for always on.
Okay, always on sounds good. That's a good punchline. Always on, I like that. That's good.
And so the other big quality is that since, it's due to the architecture as well, but when you double the number of nodes you have, you double your capacity, and it's linearly scalable.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
That's great. So what are you working on at DataStax? So special tasks for you?
Special tasks were, during the past year, it was on drivers performance, so mostly writing driver benchmarks, identifying bottlenecks, and working with the developers to remove those bottlenecks. And now I've switched to the commercial offering that we have on top of Cassandra, which is DataStax Enterprise. And most specifically, we are developing a graph database on top of Cassandra now, or on top of DataStax Enterprise. And I'm writing the benchmark and the performance test overall that we are going to run to check that we meet our performance criteria.
Okay, so you're a performance guy.
I am a performance guy, that's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. So what are you doing at Devox?
I'm going to give this talk that is literally called How to Fail at Benchmarking, because I love benchmarking, and because benchmarking is fun. You have to see it as a fun activity. We really often make mistakes in our benchmarks, and that's normal. That's normal due to how it works. Now, you have to recognize those mistakes. You have to admit that you will make mistakes, regardless of how much time you spend preparing your benchmark, and you have to learn from the others' people's mistakes as well.
So, and you learn from your mistakes, from others' mistakes, or
both.
Let me guess. You learned at Kirk?
I've learned with Kirk, yes. So typically, when Kirk gave a talk yesterday, and they were starting a performance tuning activity, and he immediately asked, "What is our performance target?" And he didn't get any answer. So think about it. Would you write a recursive function without a stop condition?
Better not.
Doing a benchmark without a performance target is exactly that. You never know when you will stop, because you will always have a component in your application that is slower than the rest. And when should you stop? It's a time-consuming activity. When will you stop? That's the first mistake.
So get the target, the requirements for performance first, and then you start looking for where you want to go.
Yes, get clear requirements, then make sure that your benchmark actually answers the question you want to answer. That's another mistake. It's really easy to write benchmarks thinking, oh, I'm going to answer this question, get an answer, except it was an answer for that question. You don't realize that, and you have taken the wrong decision.
So you're like a benchmark buster?
Yes, yes. In the NoSQL world, it's really easy. You see benchmark all over the place that claims that one is faster than the other, usually between competitors, marketing departments mostly. And I like to think those benchmarks are all true, but they claim different things.
Okay.
Now, how can all those benchmarks be true in that case? Well, simply because they omit to tell you the environment. Their claims may completely be true given a specific context, given a specific situation.
Oh.
When they don't tell you that, they omit a part of the truth, and they claim that it's a general truth, right? This is another mistake. You should always report the context of your benchmark when you are reporting results.
So you tell me don't believe any performance benchmark results I see there? Just to figure out my own, or figure out my requirements and try to get my own benchmark results?
Well, when you see a benchmark online, try to see how it was run, on what was the environment of the benchmark itself, and does it suit your needs. Typically, there are benchmarks out there that test distributed system on one node.
Sounds weird.
Yes, but why not? If you want to start your application, your distributed application, and you have really low requirements at first, this benchmark might give you good answers. I won't do that. But you need to figure out this. You need to read the benchmark description. You need to rerun the benchmark and make your opinion out of it. You need not to trust blindly the truth that is exposed online.
Yeah. Okay, so I figure out my requirements and I try to match them on the benchmarks that are available.
Yes.
And then maybe I can figure out a way to pick the right one, or else I'll give you a call.
Excuse me, what was that?
I'll give you a call.
Yeah, give me a call.
Figure
Yes.
out for me. It sounds good. So,
I can do that,
and
yes.
You're doing a talk about that one. So like figuring out why benchmarks are not good and what you can do wrong. So
Yes. Yes. So typically, when product managers ask you, write this benchmark, and we want to be the fastest thing ever, you need to work with them. It's a social exercise. You need to work with them and make sure that you get precise requirements. You need to make sure that you get a clear, concise scenario that you can run, explain, rerun, and such.
Yeah, that's great. So great to have you here. So I can just suggest for everybody, come over, talk to Pierre,
Yep.
join his session, and yeah, great to have you.
Thank you.